Yeah. I was trying to get us sued, bro.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I can't repeat it.
Yeah, I was about to quote the intro to In Living Color.
And
Copyright infringement.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Can't do
DMCA.
What?
That's the music.
You
copyright.
said YMCA?
No, I said DMCA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I heard DMCA.
I heard YMCA.
Yeah.
Larry lives that life, so. Hey, man.
Unnecessary.
I can tell by
Unnecessary.
your shirt.
Yo, Kainu rocks floral too, bro.
Kainu could be alternative.
No.
You don't know.
Gender bending. All right. Welcome to Welcome to that One Piece talk where we talk One Piece. My name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Seb.
And this is that One Piece talk. We are on episode 20.
Episode
20
Yo, Mendy. Literally, bro. We're on episode 20. I feel like every time we go up an episode, it's just like, wow, we keep going. We haven't gotten tired of it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
You know, stuff get wild and crazy.
It's about to get wild and crazy. Yo, get the KY.
Get the
Whoa.
It's about to get crazy in here.
Think you're excited.
All right. Anyway, we have a couple questions. We're gonna review chapter 1029. Sebastian's gonna lead the way. We'll start with it. Let's kind of like get through the chapter within like 10 minutes instead of 15.
I'm gonna try.
20. It's usually 20.
It's usually 20.
Well, maybe 15. Maybe
I'm gonna
15.
try, bro.
Oh wow, Marv put a clock up there.
That's
been
up there.
Like,
Yo, that's been up there, Marv.
The entire time.
You never noticed that clock, bro?
Never.
You're the closest one to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe because he's not no.
Yeah, he's looking at us, I guess.
yeah.
We cute, you feel me?
You know what I'm saying?
That's why. Anyway.
Yeah, let's
One
get
Piece
to it.
1029. Chapter title is The Tower. I'll start with the cover page.
Also known as.
Cover page is Jewelry Bonnie eating with a bunch of otters. Like, I guess they're eating ramen or soba noodles. And they have an eating contest. And she's like keeping up with like 7 otters or so.
Damn, you looking right.
She's just eating, thighs out. Anyway.
Yo, does she ever have her legs closed? Like at all?
I don't know, man.
I feel like there
don't think
hasn't
so.
been one panel of her just like.
The panel when Blackbeard had her captured.
No,
I think she.
her legs were
No,
not closed.
even then.
Nope.
Do you mean like just not crossed or not like?
It's just
pants
always
on?
out.
Hey, man.
She be popping it, bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna refrain from speaking on Bonnie until I know how old she actually is.
That age,
I don't know how old she is.
Listen, man. Listen,
She could be like 12, bro. You don't know.
She old enough right now.
You don't know
You
that.
feel what I'm saying?
No, I don't actually, sir.
Oh, sir.
I'm gonna have to ask you, sir. I'm gonna have to ask you, sir.
But anyway,
All right, man.
into the chapter, we start off where we left off with Sanji getting mollywopped by Queen and his sword breaking on Sanji's neck. And Queen's subordinates are just super shocked because Master Queen's sword broke. And like you see the ricochet flying from the sword going in every direction. And essentially everyone's shocked. Queen starts saying, I didn't know you used hockey, right, to do that, right? I know you didn't use any hockey to do that. He's saying, like, Judge's ability allows you to have, like, his experiments allow you to have a human exoskeleton that gives abnormal regeneration and give it great physical strength. And Sanji's, like, pulling his face back into place, which I thought was funny. He's, like...
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Gripping it, yeah. So, similar to how he tried to fix his leg. So, and he talks again about losing his emotions and having a heart of ice. And so we get baby Grandpa Chopper again talking, saying Sanji broke the sword with his neck. I didn't know like he could do that in all his years, and he's still talking in that old Chopper voice, which is cool. Sanji has a flashback to his brothers and him not wanting to be a monster like them. Mm-hmm. And he starts running away immediately, which I didn't see coming. But I guess I should have seen it coming because Sanji's having a real emotional and mental
It's like a traumatic breakdown.
Yeah, he's
During
like,
a very important epic moment.
Shut up. Who cares? you gotta understand.
Yeah, just get through the chapter, bro.
Yo, you gotta understand, bro. He's going through a lot. All right. And so he books off. He straight up dips, similar to how he was running from the Yokohamas. And Queen is starts chasing after him. And you see all of Queen's subordinates and the other Kaido beast pirate subordinates start shooting at him. And he actually gets hit a couple times. And he grills at them saying that it hurt, but he's perfectly fine because he's abnormally human now. He's not regularly human. He has some sort of exoskeleton like his brothers do. And then Queen starts chasing after him, starts shooting his more lasers, and Sanji keeps running away. And then we cut to the second floor, and Kid is getting laughed at by Big Mom. And she says, "You got a migraine, Kid?" Saying he has some sort of headache. And she's trying to tee off on him. And as we know, Kid's body is still connected to Hawkins' doll, so something's happening with them in the distance. And so Law starts yelling out at Kid, "Yo, what's wrong with you? You're useless right now."
He kind of said what everybody else has been saying the whole time.
Yeah, I gotta be patient with Kid, man.
No word.
Let him get his in time, bro. Y'all so impatient. So Law, to protect Kid, uses shambles and countershock on Big Mom, straight to the face. And Big Mom, being Big Mom, ate it. Yeah. And then rocks
All
Law.
pun intended.
It wasn't, but I should have said.
Yeah, I really wish she was still eating people. Legit.
It'd be cool. She
Yeah.
should eat Kid.
Didn't we first see her?
Yeah, when we first saw
when we
her,
first
she
saw
had
her, she-
stomach acid and she was eating people. And I was like, yo, she's a witch.
Fistful of
She
eggs.
lives in a graham cracker house.
A monster.
Like a monster.
Imagine if she was just eating her own kids. That would be insane. All right, keep going. Yeah.
So Big Mom, to react to counter Law, ends up hitting him with, or I guess
Countershock.
Prometheus just did it himself after she got countershocked. Yeah, Prometheus himself hits Law with a new move, I think, called Stolen Fire, which I thought was cool. And then Big Mom does this
It
super...
looks a lot like Indra.
Yeah, it looks like the fire form of Indra. Yeah.
Why did I say it Spanish like that?
I don't know. Why did I repeat it the same way you did? That's the real question. I'm easily influenceable, apparently. So Big Mom does this super acrobatic, triple spin in the air,
heck?
which gotta look scary as hell.
Because she's mad huge.
She's huge. She
she
ran
is
up
huge.
and was just
Not even
backflips.
necessary, because
Yo. She's just want to show them she still got it. And Kid still is messing, his head is still hurting. And I don't know.
Did Kid just eat that? Or
Yo,
like,
I don't know.
I'm like, how did he not get cut in half?
Yo, so she does Mama Raid on him, which I guess is a pun on marmalade? I don't know.
Marmalade.
And you see Kid and Law just rocked on the ground in front of her. While, what is the new homie's name? I forgot.
I don't know.
I forgot her name.
Hold on.
Hera, it's Hera.
Hold on. Yeah, it is Hera. When she did that move, Mama Raid,
Yeah.
it said ka-ching.
He
So
might have
it
used
looks
his
like
arm to block
it
the
looks
move?
like Napoleon probably. I don't know because there's lightning around it too,
Mm-hmm.
so it makes me think she was probably using her armament, so it would get through it.
No, I think she was combining
But Law's
Hera
down too.
and Napoleon
Law's
together.
down too though.
Yeah, from the Stolen Fire attack on the page before.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to say they lost switch.
I don't know,
and I was
man.
like, nah, he didn't.
Kid looked like he getting plotted out right now.
Kid
That's
just
all I'm
stronger
saying.
than that, dog.
Kid looked like he getting
Only
plotted
thing
out.
I can think of, he has the magnetic ability.
I feel you on that, and I agree. That's
you know
what
what
it
I'm saying?
should be. But we ain't getting no hint that that's happening.
Yeah.
Listen,
We're just
why-
being shown
why-
that he's having a hard time, and he's busy right now. So it's I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there needs to be an explanation of why he's able to take Yonko's attack
Why?
point blank like that.
Why would
That
be?
should have killed him or cut him in half.
Yes.
We've seen Big Mom rock Kid straight to the face before.
That was with a
With a
punch.
and he was good. Two, Hawkins straight up said that Kid and Killer continuously got up from the damage Kaido was giving to them. So they've taken Yonko
Yes, but
level
Kaido
attacks
also
before.
has a club.
But yeah, those are blunt attacks. You know what I'm saying?
One, the Kaching could mean that he blocked part of it with his arm. That's one. Two,
But I get that. But I'm saying, are we now saying that his armament in that state that he's in is comparable to Big Mom full force?
he's a Conqueror's hockey user, bro. Let him run.
Oh my god.
Listen, man.
You're too easily convinced, bro.
Listen.
Like, it's so sad sometimes.
It's Kid. He's supposed to be strong.
I guess. He hasn't done anything the whole arc.
He's able to survive attacks from Yonko.
Cool.
But when he does it,
I guess.
I get bitching for whatever.
That-
just
that's
saying,
cool.
especially- you
He
see
can
how
take
this is-
hits.
But he also did lose an arm. So why is this okay?
We don't know the circumstances of that arm being lost.
Okay.
You know, I'm starting to realize a pattern with Sebastian.
What?
That you just gotta be able to take hits in order to be great.
Yo,
AKA,
yeah, bro.
So
That's part of the game.
I feel like everybody you love is just Marco. You know what I'm saying?
It's just
Like, if we
Marco.
gotta get back into this conversation, like, we can.
Marco
but-
not in this chapter, man.
All right,
Alright.
keep going, bro. Let's get rid of this chapter.
Anyway, so Kid gets up saying, headache, what the hell's happened to me? Because he doesn't know about Hawkins. And he starts to thinking to himself, I finally reached 4 emperors. If I die now, what was the point of his pirating career? Basically acknowledging everything that Larry and other people have said about him being a disappointment to this point. And Big Mom starts laughing. I almost called her Mama. Big Mom starts laughing and saying, you're a funny kid. It looks like you might die on your own. I don't have to do anything. And then we cut to Hawkins versus Killer. And we see Hawkins bashing his head into a column to hurt Kid to prevent, like, basically troll Killer into not hurting him and, like, mentally mess with Killer while they're fighting so that he can get one up. Because as we've seen, it seemed as though Killer's a better fighter than Hawkins is hand to hand. And so,
Yo, Killer, better fighter than most supernovas. All right, we'll save that for
yeah,
later. Keep
we'll save
going.
it later.
Yeah.
So Killer's begging, pleading Hawkins to stop hurting Kid, and we get another glimpse of Hawkins' sadistic side as he's laughing at him, talking about his fortune and how he's always super unlucky and having to eat a smile devil fruit because he's laughing and Killer's like laugh. And we see the other people in Kid's crew pleading out to Hawkins like, let us fight him for you, like let us jump him together. And he's saying not to because he knows anything that they do will hurt Kid. And they're like pleading out to him that it's frustrating to watch them. And so Killer asks Hawkins, he pleads that he'll exchange his life for Kid's. And he can kill him and let Kid go. And so Hawkins starts kicking Killer. Why are you looking at me like that? It's hard to say Kid and Killer so many times. Like, it's messing me up. Hawkins starts kicking Killer a lot and starts saying, Kid is fighting Big Mom right now, I gather. Will he succeed at his dream of hunting down an emperor of the seas? It's good to set your sights high. And Killer says, stop sabotaging him. And they start having this conversation where Hawkins is saying, like, you guys are crazy. You should have just surrendered because you're fighting the Yonkos. And, like, you can't beat them. There's nothing we can do to overpower them.
Yeah.
And Killer has this super dope reaction to that where he says, don't get emotional now because besides that, I know deep down you regret the decision that you made back then because you feared dying in this future. And yet we're still here standing. Like, we didn't think you'd get this far.
Yeah.
And I love that from Killer because that's real. You know what I mean?
Listen, man. Killer kills, B.
Killer kill. Oh, man. And so Hawkins starts getting mad because he realizes that he's a punk. and he says, you'll see who's regretting it in the end. And so Killer says, we'll see. And then he asks him, I have 2 questions for you, right? If you take damage without proper conduit, where does the damage go? And then Hawkins replies, what do you mean? You should know how my powers work by now. All the damage I take goes straight to Kid as long as I hold this straw in my body, right? A straw doll. So Killer speed blitzes Hawkins and cuts his arm off. And Hawkins is absolutely shocked because he's like, yo, what the hell? How'd I lose an arm? And he just joined the...
Well, it looks like Hawkins attacked him, though, too.
Probably.
He was going to attack
Either way,
him.
he got speed blitzed.
Yeah,
He couldn't keep up.
He was in a stance to cut down.
And then Killer says to him, Kid has no left arm because there's nowhere for the damage to go, so the left arm just comes off. So his metallic arm drops off of him in the distance. And then second question, once I take this one, how many more lives do you have? And then he says, congratulations, that's the last one, and draws one more strawman card. And it says death upright. And it whips out this giant, the giant straw doll that he's used before in the past.
He used it against Zoro.
Yeah, he used it against Zoro. And then
And Zoro kind of had a hard time against it.
yeah, he did in the anime.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how it went down in the manga.
Yeah, I don't remember too much of the manga.
Yeah, and so Killer
Kills.
using behead. Yeah, he kills it. He straight up uses beheading claws, and that's probably my favorite move for him because I love that spinning blades that he does. He does a flip, cuts it, and then Hawkins is trying to fight on the back foot now. He whips out one more tarot card, and it is the Tower as Killer approaches him, and he uses Spin Sonic and cuts Hawkins down. You see a bunch of his cards start falling. His team is all shook and shocked. Hawkins falls to the ground unconscious. And the narrator says, in the Strawman cards, the Tower means the collapse of the old and brittle. And its hidden meaning is a new way forward. And you see the chapter end with Kid in high spirits and Big Mom commenting on it. And Killer says, get going, partner. And I love that. I did. And then the chapter ends there.
All right. Chapter was pretty good.
It was focused. I love that
it was focused.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is, instead of going like around the table and asking what we all thought of each one, I kind of prepared questions for us that literally relates to the chapter anyway. And I'm going to do that instead. So I'm going to ask you guys right now, you know, Luffy has interacted with basically every Worst Generation member besides like Bonnie and Urush within an arc. Do you think their time is coming, and what impact will they have on the story of One Piece?
Well, yes, for Bonnie.
Yes, same.
Uruj, I don't know how to say his name. Urogi. I always say Rogi. I'm going to just keep going with Urogi. I have no idea. So I can't envision, like Oda's even said in SPSs and stuff that like he didn't anticipate the supernovas being as important or as popular as they are, like being a part of the story this much.
Yeah.
So I don't think he has like an arc in mind to have Urogi in it like that. Like even the stuff that we've gotten from him is like probably even more than I expected. Like I didn't think he'd have him beat a sweet commander.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't expect that from Urogi. So he has to take place in like some major event, but it won't be anything too crazy. I don't think he'll be a villain either, like how Hawkins is.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can really think of is like the return of Enel, because he's from Sky Island.
I hope.
You know what I mean?
Because
So
the
I could
church
see
has
that.
been waiting, bro.
So I can see that. I don't think he'll get any made. Like what Killer and Hawkins are doing right now, I don't think he'll ever even get this much
Yeah.
screen time and like the talking, unless we really do get an Enel. Like not an arc, but a section of an arc, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So Bonnie, hell yeah. She's set up to be way more important than that.
Yeah, same.
Like the aging thing. You know my erection plan theory, how she's been de-aging the Gorosei for years.
that.
I call it the erection plan. It's a problem. It's like Viagra. What? Anyway. But yeah, she's just set up for a lot. And she was in the middle of the reverie. Like
Yeah, she
you-
was.
I've said my theory before, right? That Kuma sent her and Sabo away, and they might even land on Wano or something, and that's why the newspaper said that Sabo killed someone, but like he's nowhere to be found and not in contact with the revolutionaries. I could just see that. That's my little fan theory crap, but I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
What
Should
about
be-
you,
Should
Lawrence?
be important though.
I agree with Sebastian. Pretty much what he said about Urugi. Not much, unless you know because we all thought the wings, Sky P, and everything. And he's from Sky
Yeah.
Island, so I'm thinking we also kind of want Enel to come back too. Like that'll be interesting.
Oh, man.
So we think maybe it may play something there. And with Bonnie, I kind of feel like not to go the route again, but it's kind of looking like it might be. I don't know if Luffy's gonna help her or save her, like the damsel in distress thing gonna have, but she's gonna play a part where they're gonna meet. You know, I don't know if they're gonna clash because they're both gluttons, like
Yeah.
the way they eat, or it's like Oda's gonna do it that way. But I can see at the end of the day, I see Luffy helping her. Like,
Okay.
pretty much in her situation.
She
what I
does seem like a person that would need help.
Yeah.
Especially when we seen her tied up, and then Akainu went to go see her.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of she's in now that princess position, I guess,
Yeah.
but just for the worst generation.
Yeah.
I get what you guys are saying.
And she's shown to be like sympathetic to like characters that we are supposed to deem as good, like Whitebeard and Ace and Kuma. Like
Yeah.
She actually
was
saved
crying.
Zoro.
Yeah, she saved Zoro. Like she was crying at the end of Marineford.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was because of Kuma and him being undead and stuff, or if that was because Whitebeard actually died. Like I don't know what that was about, but
yeah.
she's shown to be sympathetic to people that we deem are good.
Yeah.
But I could also see her like in a way where it's not Luffy that has that connection with her. It could be Sabo.
Yeah.
Because he was there with the revolutionaries and stuff. Like maybe she joins the revolutionaries.
Yeah.
You know, like I could see that being her role going forward, but I don't know.
Yeah. My thoughts on it. I think Bonnie. There's always a theory around Bonnie. Like there's always like she's always in some way somehow included into like the Gorosei or just overall people just staying alive forever. Or having some type of mystery behind them, and she's like right next to them.
Yeah.
I think she'll be very much included into the last war. I think I would really like to see the Gorosei younger, so they can actually make an impact and be as strong as we think they are.
Do they need to be younger for that?
Well, I'm thinking just
They would
the
have to be
youthfulness, the youthful
young
vigor.
enough to be in their prime.
Yeah.
What's prime in One Piece? As long as you're not sick.
Well, at
For
this point,
dying.
it's like we consider Sengoku older and not stronger because of it. You know, like he has white hair, like this. I'm not gonna get into it.
Yeah.
But what I would like to see from Yaruj is like, I think we're getting introduced to King because of Yaruj. Because because Skypiea is right next to the Lunarians, or the Lunarians are right next to Skypiea. I think maybe they might have some sort of connection, and it can explain why Yaruj is the only Skypiean that we can see get really huge and inflate and get stronger.
Yeah.
But he also had like a very important role. He was considerably, he wasn't the strongest worst generation member by far.
No, he had actually the lowest
Yeah.
bounty.
Would you say he was like top 5 of the worst generation out
Didn't
of
they
the
say
10?
that there was a 5 to look? Yeah, they said the 5 to look out for was the ones with the highest bounties.
Yeah, was he
was-
one of them?
No. He
had the lowest
He held the lowest one.
Killer and Zolo
And it turns out
Zolo had the
Yaruj
high one.
ended up beating a sweet commander,
Yeah.
which is probably the toughest opponent that any of the worst generation members have faced besides Blackbeard beating Ace. That says a lot.
Yeah.
So I do think that he's gonna have a place in the story. I just don't know how he fits in. But if he does, I think it's because of King's introduction of the Lunarians.
Yeah.
That's just my guess.
Oda's too good a writer not to have something for him. Like he'll have some storyline, but I will say, him beating a sweet commander could just be because Oda felt I didn't give him enough hype on Sapodi, where he
Could
got
be,
less
too.
of a bounty.
No, it
like
could.
you know what I mean?
He was pulling the paws on the Pacifista.
Yeah,
Remember?
hey, he was. And,
Yeah.
But like, and even the sweet commander thing, depending on if Kid had fought Snack before, because Kid allegedly hurt a sweet commander or something
Yeah.
before Orochi took, you know what I mean? He took one out, which was Snack. But like, we don't know if it was like a fair one-on-one where they fought and Orochi just won. You know what I mean? Like, it could be a situation where Snack was already hurt and then he fought him. So
It just seems like, from my perspective, he has a strong willpower compared to some of the other supernovas. Like he doesn't have some crazy type of ability either. He's just like all hands.
I don't know. He's like a baby Hulk. He was shredding
No,
up.
no, I get that, but it's kind of like he's still using just all hands.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're gonna need some willpower.
Does he use like a giant pillar or something like that?
He was using a pillar too.
Yeah, but that's
for a
what,
little bit.
like
That's
he's a grunt.
yeah.
He's
Who
like,
knows if does he carry it around often, or did he just grab that
I
off
don't
the?
know where
Off,
that
don't know.
can.
I don't know.
I will say let me say one more thing.
Yeah.
About the whole where it would matter why they need to be younger. For example, this Rayleaf, when he used King Egyptian Hockey, I'm guessing because of his older age, he says, "Yeah, and I don't plan on doing that again." So we just recognize it takes a toll on the older you are. So just that youthful vigor, where like your body's lively and you're no quick.
No, I get that. I'm just saying in One Piece, like as age works, it's like dudes like a kind are almost 50 plus,
Yeah,
and it's like they're in their prime.
but we have to assume
know
the
what I
girls
mean?
are like in their 80s.
yeah.
They could be in their 800s. I'm just saying if they have some sort of means to stay this age, that can be explained away where it's like, all right, we're still prime. We're just. I don't think they need to be aged down. They just have to highlight that what they are now is as strong as they can be.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Let's get to the next one. So I really want to see what you guys think on this subject as well. How unimpressed are you with Hawkins after his defeat?
Oh man.
And we'll start with Lawrence because you
Yeah.
started first last time.
Well, I never really thought Hawkins was that strong from the get. Sebastian was that because we would go into it from like, oh wow, I was like, his ability is not that impressive. And
Sebastian was only hyping him too because he had blonde hair.
blonde hair,
Stop
and he
that.
was like, yo, if you just get the puppet of someone strong, I go, yeah, but to me, all that I viewed is you're kind of relying on someone else's durability and someone else's, like, you know, what they can take.
Which goes against the show itself because it's all about willpower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, too, like, you would see how, yes, you'll have some gangster moves, like, all right, I'm not going to die here. But,
Yeah.
like, you could see it, for example, like, he would, like, it was like a fault against him, like what we saw with Killer responding to him. Like,
Yeah.
like you thought we were going to die, and that's why you betrayed us, because you got overwhelmed and scared by the overwhelming strength of Kaido, right? Yet, we went through it all. Kid got beat down and not his will broken, but like went through all that. Kid's still alive, and Kid probably went through the worst out of all of them because he's the one that got captured. Where Killer went a little, I guess, crazy a little bit because I guess he ate the smile fruit or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but they went through it, and he says, "Yo, we're still here." Like that punk move you did betraying us, because it wasn't just him; it was him
And Apu.
and Apu both betrayed them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, so that means it was just really Kid and Killer fighting against Kaido.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Yo, it was just us two, and we still survived it." So and then fighting ability, like we've seen Killer, and Hawkins is supposed to be one of the 5 to look out for. That's what Luffy, Law, Drake, and Hawkins.
I think it was hyping Drake up. Let me stop.
Yo, they were hyping Drake up, bro. Drake hasn't done much, yo.
Drake good.
So pretty much, right? So it's part of that. And granted, they already showed the 3 out of those 5 that stood out because they will always be with Luffy was Luffy, Kid, and Law.
Yeah.
So that's how I viewed it from the get. Even though in the beginning we were like, all right, what is Law's power? We couldn't make sense of it. It didn't look like it was nothing. But now we're saying, oh, his ability is actually pretty dope. It's pretty awesome. But like Hawkins, I never really got much from, and even Drake with his ability, because the dinosaur thing, I was like, I got to see more, whatever. But at least I can see like using for fighting utensils. There's potential with Drake's. Hawkins, I didn't really see much fighting potential with his ability. You know?
Well, you got to granted, we don't know much about it still.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what it can actually do. We just have seen him do, like, 2 particular things,
Yeah.
which is the straw man that he creates, the ability to have dolls, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing is, like, cards, which I don't consider a part of his ability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only one credit is that he beat Brownbeard, but who the heck's Brownbeard?
Yeah,
You know?
that's
Like,
true.
You
Yeah.
know? So that's too, like, his cards are just drawing out other powers, not using your own. So it's like, to me, where's your hockey? Where's your observation? Are you growing your will to be strong? So, like, and it's what we saw before. Maybe Killer's just crazy fast, because that's what it looks like Killer is fast, but you're losing, like, you almost lost to Zoro, and you lost to Killer, who Zoro beat Killer. So it's like,
And he might have lost the Law. We don't.
yeah.
We
Oh, yeah.
see it.
I think he lost. I forgot about that.
he
Yeah,
might
I
have
believe he lost the
Law.
Law as well. Which probably with this, he probably did. So it's like, how did you reach the top 5 to look out for amongst the supernovas?
Yeah.
It's probably all ability based, using other people's powers. So I didn't really think much of him.
What about you, Seb?
All right, so my answer is gonna be, I don't want to say extensive, but it's gonna have a couple layers here. One, don't disrespect my boy Hawkins like that. Right? Yes, his fighting himself is weak, and I've acknowledged that from the jump. He's not a hand-to-hand combat fighter that's elite. Like, that was obvious, right? But I think Oda did him dirty, personally.
Oh, you think
Yes.
Oda actually did somebody dirty?
Yes, and this is why. And it's not just because he's Hawkins. It's because he uses tarot cards, right? That's like I don't know a lot about tarot cards, but like there's some wild stuff that you can do or that says like that will happen if you draw a tarot card. Like the world card, the upside down, I forgot what it's called. It's like an upside down Joker. There's so many wild things that tarot cards should allow Hawkins to do, right? And in this moment, in the life or death situation, he draws a card and it's this card that says, yo, LOL, F you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. That's on him partially because he should just know how to fight. But like when I'm fighting to the death and dealing with stuff, we've seen him pull out cards and they played him multiple times. And a part of that is just he's only here because he's using these cards and doing the probability and all this stuff. He's only got to this level because of that. So it's on him. But it's like, bruh, when push came to shove, every time down when he needed a card, he got played. When he was fighting Zoro, they made him attack his own people, like his tarot card, the doll. It attacked one of his people died. You know what I mean? Like the reverse. And in this moment, it's we're prophesizing the future of this battle in the world. Like, bro, I need me to be good enough to be killer right now. I don't care about the tower. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, bruh, and again, it's on him because he's just not strong enough to deal with killer level people himself. But if my whole thing is this, it's like, damn, bro, like, and I know you don't believe in luck, but it's like, yo, he literally is just unlucky. It came down to it. He could have whipped out a card that made him regenerate. He could have whipped out a card that made him 100 times stronger than he is, type stuff. Made him whipped out a card that injured his opponent in some lethal way. He whips out the tower card. And it's like, I don't want to say plot, because again, this is his fighting style.
He made his own bed.
Yeah, he made his bed. He sat with Kaido and all that.
Listen, man.
It's like, bruh.
He should have had the heart of the cards.
Yeah,
Low key.
that's why it's like, again, he's only here because he followed the cards to this level.
Yeah.
But Oda could have had him get something, bro.
Yeah.
How about a card that doesn't help me in the slightest? Like, the opposite of helping me. Like, come on, bro.
All right. So, for my take, I'm unimpressed with Hawkins. Reason being, I feel like Oda took him out of character in order for him to lose. We're talking about a character who has literally gotten to the level that he's gotten because of being meticulous and because of probability. And when he does that, he has a certain level of awareness and calmness about him that he's shown since we've been introduced to him. So him not being cautious enough, because he is cautious when he does his probability, right? And he follows it. He's so cautious that he takes always the safest route. So when I see him use his ability, recognize that Kid himself has a metal arm and doesn't take into account of that metal arm that is actually a weakness that people can probably figure out. And then it gets utilized to the point where, like, it does get figured out, and now he loses an actual arm. I'm like, that doesn't kind of fit the way Hawkins is. I feel like Hawkins would have realized that was a hole in his armor, in a sense, but he didn't. It's kind of weird to me. And then the whole bashing his head on the rock and him even laughing and being a little sadistic. It never appeared to me throughout the whole entirety of his character that he was like that.
He showed it one time. He showed it
I
one time with Law.
Oh.
No, you had another time? That he might have another time. But with Law, when he was trying to expose information from Law, look at the face he makes. I'm going to find it. I'm going to show you.
All right.
Look
find
at that
for me.
face. Because I was like, in that moment, when I saw that, I was like, yo, why is he making that face? That's like some sadism. Like, what's up with that?
Yeah.
When I read that chapter. So when it came back in this chapter, I was like, oh, word. This is just that part of him that is being highlighted more.
I got to see it.
Which is part of the reason why I said it was a couple chapters ago. I was like, he's a pre-skip villain. Like, he would have been a perfect pre-time skip villain for Luffy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just don't see. I don't see how that happens. Like, he didn't really have any objective. He didn't have any sadistic goals at that point. It was just, yo, I'm trying to do something. We don't know because we never got told what he's trying to do. It was just like, yo, I'm just gonna follow the best probability of me going through life, and I'm just gonna do that. So if my best probability is being under Kaido and surviving, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be cautious enough to always count my cards and make sure I go through the best probability. And when I seen him doing what he was doing, I was like, this doesn't kind of sit right with me. I feel like he got switched up at the very last moment. It's a very Katakuri moment where Katakuri was never what he was until he stabbed himself in order to be honorable to Luffy when he wasn't honorable the whole time. It was just it was just another flashback for me where I'm just like, all right, this wasn't a great feeling. But I'm unimpressed. I thought Hawkins had much more to give to the story, I guess.
This is the panel I was talking about.
Once he speaks, it will be over very quickly. Even so, it's not like, I guess it's a little sadistic.
It just looks. It's not his normal calm demeanor. Is what I mean. Like it's not.
Yeah.
He looks a little wild.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna
he's gonna enjoy torturing him
Yeah.
in order to get information. You know what I mean?
I get you.
When I saw that, I was like, okay, this is a part of him. Like he's kind of crazy that way, and which makes. I mean, he's a tarot card user. Like you know what I mean? He's not all there. So like, and he gives his entire life to those probabilities.
Yeah.
Like where an admiral can pull up and
That's
I'm just
what I was
gonna
gonna
do
bring
it.
out.
Well,
So he's not all there mentally. You know what I mean?
But this is the thing too. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, the first time we ever saw him in battle was on Archipelago when he versed Kizaru. He was super confident and super calm in his situation. He was sort of more prepared than he was against Killer. Granted, he fought Law off panel, so he might have not restocked on his puppets. You know what I'm saying? He probably had one puppet left.
He had some time.
He had some time, but we don't know, right? But for him to go into a battle again and we're in war right now and he only has one puppet?
That's not true. The pages chapters ago, Killer was chipping him up.
Yeah, he losing.
Lost mad dolls already because Killer was getting him.
Maybe I'm not seeing those things. Maybe
Killer,
I'm not looking close
Killer
enough.
said, "How many puppets of these do you have?" Like,
Yeah.
it's like never ending.
Because
It felt
he
like that.
just couldn't get the best of Killer in any hand-to-hand combat situation, which is why me and Lawrence like, yo, he can't fight like that.
Yeah.
Like he can't fight at Killer's level. Killer's out here fighting on that rooftop.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The thing is, too, it's like he's probably the worst member out of the worst generation.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, tripping.
Hold on. Hear me out.
Hawkins out
It's only because he goes directly against everything that makes you strong in One Piece. He doesn't focus on his own willpower. He doesn't overcome things at all. He doesn't go against the grain and go, yo, I have to pass this person in order to continue forward.
That's true.
That's One Piece.
Yep.
That's how you get strong.
That's true.
He doesn't do that. What he does is he goes, should I make this left or right? Will I pass either person? Like, what's the probability of both? This one's 80%, this one's 25. I'm going with the 80%. And then he'll get past them. That's not helping your willpower. You know what I'm saying?
Your math was off.
No, I was just I was just making numbers. I was just throwing numbers out.
It's like what?
All right, 20%, 80%. My bad. Maybe Hawkins goes 105 each time, bro.
So the extra 5% would have got him something, bro.
No, it
he
wouldn't.
didn't do it.
But that's why I think I'm unimpressed with him. But
No,
let
makes sense.
me ask you guys this then. How impressed are you with Killer, otherwise known in Wano as what's his name? Kamazo, the manslayer.
Manslayer.
How impressed are you with
Kamazo.
Killer?
I'm not gonna lie, it reminded me of Rurouni Kenshin, the Manslayer.
Yeah.
But
We'll go with Sebastian first because he went last time.
Killer's the man, bro. And it's not just because it's Blonde Squad again, but Killer has been
Killer's
showing
black.
out, bro. Listen, and people don't like saying this. Everybody swears that he straight up lost to Zoro when they fought. He did lose, but Zoro still passed out. And like Killer wasn't in his right mind frame when they fought. And he didn't have his weapons. I'm just saying he showed out pretty well for somebody that was limited in that
I'm gonna
way.
be real. He got one shotted by Zoro.
Everybody gets one shotted by
But
Zoro,
also,
except King.
wasn't Zoro also fighting someone else at the same time? He's like, yo, read the situation because he's trying to save that girl. And the guy kept attacking him. He's like, yo.
I mean, Zoro didn't eat a spell fruit. Like I would rather be dealing with what Zoro was dealing with. That's all I'm saying. But and then he fights on the rooftop. He hurts Kaido. You know what I mean? That was cool. He's able to take that damage from Big Mom. He got hit by Indra first, right? I think. Was it Indra? I don't know. But he, you know what I mean? Psych Sonic, like cut through Kaido with sound waves. He's always been cool. He's always looked cool.
Yeah.
He's also always been seemingly smarter than Kid, and like able to speak to things. Like when Kid had the alliance, and Kid was like, "Yo, f this, I'm gonna just fight Apu." Kid was able to reason with him to make him understand. And then it's like, beyond that, it's like he just seems to be there mentally. Like he's able to understand things. He told him about Apu's sound thing to make them not get hit with the sound waves.
Yeah.
Like, he's always there. He's always present in the moment and able to understand things. Like, even in this moment, he's fighting Hawkins and losing, and he's got the pressure of his crew telling him to do this and that, and he knows kids being affected, and that's his best friend since they grew up. He's still able to understand, okay, how do I win? And he's able to come up with a plan to win. And it honestly reminded me of Naruto. Like, those kind of things where it's like, oh, I'm going to figure out a way to win because you don't know one thing that I do know. It reminded me of Naruto, where, like, with Zabuza, stuff like that, where it's not just because I have the will to win, it's because I'm able to put a game plan in place plus my will to win.
Yeah.
And Killer did that. And I loved Killer in this chapter, bro. Like, it was so cool to see him like this. The fact that he was willing to die for kids, like, I already knew he would, but him saying it, acting it in the moment, him giving Hawkins the business about being a punk and submitting, like, I loved every bit of Killer. I've loved Killer all of Wano, bro. He was great. I loved him, bro.
What about you, Lawrence?
I agree with everything that Sebastian's saying. And I kind of feel like his name kind of throws you off from his character.
Yeah.
As in, not that he's not a killer, like he's not Rufus, because as we can see, like, it looks like Hawkins might even be dead. It looks like he split his skull open. If you look at that last panel.
Bring Hawkins back.
Because, right? So it looks like Killer does, like, he's Rufus like that. But one of the Killer Massacre, it may kind of seem like he's just not like a mindless killing machine, but that's but what he is. But what's showing with the level-headedness, he seems more like, for example, when I think of like a smart assassin, like you have to plan it to get your target. You know, you have to be level-headed, you have to be calm, cool, collective, and you got to be decisive. You have to be strategic to get to your target. That's what Killer seems more like an assassin in that level, where I'm a high-class assassin where I'm a professional.
Yeah.
You know? Not like the Killer Massacre where you just go around killing people. You know, where like it led more to it when he was like the manslayer, he was just going around killing people, attacking that girl, whatever. But also we know because the mental what happened with the whole situation, the smile through and everything, why he was doing that. But that's not who he really is. Yeah. And that's why you could kind of escape it a little bit with his loss to Zoro. Even like he was saying, I didn't have my weapons in the situation. And Zero's like, all right, like whatever. It'll be the same result even if we fight next time. You know? Yeah. But it makes the fight will be more interesting because what we've seen here, like Sebastian's bringing out. He's smart and he's quick. Also, he's fast. He's quick. He can move and he's strong. Like I said, we see him hurt Kaido. So he has actually a lot to offer in a fight. It's showing here, you know, not just like I'm just brute force or whatever. So and it's pretty dope. Like he's a dope character. Like pretty much like he's carrying into how he is. Like he's an interesting person because also with this person too, I kind of hope that they reveal his face. You see, his mask is actually kind of cracked because you see someone's face, you're gonna give him a little more personality, how he's like. Yeah, you know. So like, I hope we see more of. Because I'm happy, too, because how many of you guys people thought that when he said, I'm going to offer my life for a kid, you thought, all right, this is it, Killer's going to die? Nah. You didn't think he was going to die?
Nah, I didn't.
A part of me did, because I flashed back to a couple chapters ago where he said he had like what did he say his percentage chance of living was? It was something really low. Yeah. It was something really low. Yeah. So Hawkins I was like, I always assumed Kaido would be the one to kill Hawkins if he did die. I didn't think Killer. I didn't think Hawkins would do it. But in that moment, I was like,
yeah, possibility. Cause
maybe Hawkins really just kills this dude. Like, I could see that. Yeah. But I don't see him I didn't see Hawkins giving up the doll. Okay. So I was like, it's not gonna happen.
I thought you would like troll him and like kill them both anyway. Yeah. Because I was thinking like, no, the whole theory. That's how I did. The whole theory.
I had one extra doll and I'm like, all right, here you go. Bow! Murder. And then get out of there. Yeah.
Because you know the whole theory about that kid was supposed to lose Killer and then reunite the remnant of the worst generation, you know, or supernovas, I should say.
Some of the remaining supernovas would join some of them. Kid,
not including Law, but like some of them would join, like probably Apu, Hirogi, and them.
Hey, maybe Killer just broke Hawkins and now he joins because he's like, yo, these dudes is real.
All right. Yeah. So my impression of Killer is I always loved Killer. Ever since he was first introduced, I thought he was super dope. Mm-hmm. I like the parallel of him and Zoro being closer than Luffy and Kid is. I feel like there are levels. If I just saw like Killer had Conqueror's Haki, I wouldn't probably be surprised because he just showed King's Will, like in a way, to me. Like he's able to overcome any obstacle, and like you said, he has strategy behind it. And then also he had like the nothing happened type of moment where he was willing to sacrifice his life for his captain to proceed and become the Pirate King.
Yeah.
And Zoro did that, you know? So I love seeing Killer be his character. And I hope we get more of him.
Right.
So we have 2 more questions, but we only have like 12 minutes left. So we're probably going to move past these pretty quick. Is there any belief that you think Big Mom is going to lose to Kid in Law?
No.
Yeah, a little bit. Part of me is like, I can see it. I don't necessarily want it to happen, but Kid needs a dub, bro. Like, he do. And the tower card that Hawkins drew, man, it's out with the old and with the new.
Yeah.
Damn, that right.
Do you think that if Law and Kid beat Big Mom, is that the biggest upset in One Piece history?
Biggest upset in One Piece history? Oh, man, there's been a lot. There's been a lot of upsets, bro. Almost every Luffy win. Oh, man.
For me, it would be.
Well,
I feel like I'm
jumping, and it's like Big Mom is so erratic with what she's capable of doing sometimes. Like, she could have a hunger pang right now and become 50% of what she was. Like, that's not an upset anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it wouldn't
depends on how it happens.
It wouldn't be a bigger upset than, like Sebastian said, between Luffy and Kaido, because that's a 1-on-1. This is 2-on-1.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not gonna lie. I'm logically and power wise, I would say that's why my first response was no, because I don't see them. Even if they had Luffy, I don't see them being Big Mom.
What, the 3 of them?
They shouldn't be able to be Yonkos like that.
Wow.
They shouldn't.
You're wild. Luffy, Law, and Kid together jumping Big Mom?
What I'm trying to say is strength-wise, they shouldn't be able to be Yonkos right now. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you look at the panel right here where it shows Kid, like, I feel much lighter now. It kind of seems like there's a glimmer of hope where it seems like, all right, things are about to change now. Like, the wave is about to change where Law and Kid actually might turn this around.
It's almost Eustace season, y'all. I can feel it bubbling up. I can feel it. I'm a troll Larry so hard.
For me, it really comes down to what Kid has done so far, and he hasn't done anything. Even when they were up top, he didn't do anything. Granted, he's being handicapped right now, but even if he wasn't, I still don't think he would do anything because he didn't show that he can hurt Kaido in any shape or form.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if he knows Rio, like, at this point. And, like, how's he going to get through Big Mom's tough balloon steel skin? Like, we don't know.
He going to level up, though.
I just read Whole Cake Island over again, and I noticed how crazy strong Big Mom is. Like, they needed to come up with a crazy plan, and everybody on the island ended up running. I don't even know if Kid can beat Katakuri. I'm gonna be real. I don't know, because does he have advanced future sight? Like, is he more than just the steel that he puts together? Like, cool, you have King's disposition, you have Conqueror's Haki. I know, but so did Dofi. But I don't think Dofi could beat Katakuri. So it really comes down to, can he do anything and jump a couple levels? I don't know. It would be very plot. It would take Luffy plot armor to succeed. And then you have Law, who I can see Gamma Knife hurting Big Mom in some shape or form. I can see that happening because I don't think she's a bigger tank than Kaido. But
no, she's not.
He can't use his abilities on her because her Haki is too strong.
If he awakens it, maybe. And maybe not on her, but maybe on her sword.
See, it's taking... This is what I'm saying. Like, I think this would be the biggest upset in the entirety of One Piece. Based on the levels that they're at and what level Big Mom is at. And if that happened, man, I don't know. I don't know.
Honestly, it kind of shows that what you're saying is because, honestly, Kid doesn't look like he improved much from when we see him 2 years ago.
Doesn't seem like he improved at all.
The only upgrade we got, because he keeps doing the same thing, that giant arm, and now it is his arm, the metal arm.
I got to stop with the kids.
All it was is like, all right, it was revealed that he has Conquerors. That was it.
Listen, man.
That's all we see.
The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence.
All right, bro.
Kid gonna
Don't give him no DJ Clue bomb, Marn. You better take that bomb back. He ain't saying nothing. He ain't saying nothing.
Eustace season. Go to the next question.
He not saying nothing.
If Kid beat Big Mom, I'm trolling both of y'all because I see it.
Yo, you just.
You're not gonna add Law in there at all, but okay.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
okay.
Law too. I mean, that's the other thing. You're acting like Law isn't a walking plot device. Like, bro, they almost took Big Mom out. Literally,
But he also
20,
has-
like, what was it, 10 chapters ago? The two of them specifically?
Cool.
Yo, I'm grabbing this, Repel, and Shambles. And she was almost
You
out.
ever play
Literally.
You ever play Soul Calibur and like the other person's better than you for sure, but like you hit him out of bounds and then you win the match?
That's a win, right?
You do realize
Yo,
Zoro
that's
was part
what's
of that plan
happening.
though too, Sebastian.
Yo, so what?
All right. Anyway, next question. So Sanji, who is probably the main topic, we'll spend the rest of the minutes that we have on him. Sanji has been all over the place these last couple chapters. But I think this chapter was the strangest of them all. And what do you think is happening to Sanji right now?
Honestly, just what I see, he's awakening his powers or like his hidden genes that his father created with him. So, and the whole thing is, obviously he's scared to be, because the whole torment and everything, he doesn't want to be like his family, mostly his brothers, because the mindless and heartless thing. But I think me and Sebastian will go before, what we see is Sanji was different. And like I said, I called this a while back that Sanji was going to awaken his powers. As soon as I found out about him, he's going to be a late bloomer. And sometimes they try to show in animes or shows that the late bloomer tends to be the strongest for some reason. Like the dormant ability tends to be stronger. But Sanji's also going to be different because I don't see him losing his humanity, being cold or anything. He's going to keep it, so he's going to be the complete version of what his father wanted to create it. Even though his father hates him the most for it, but he's going to still keep his heart, his mind, everything, where he's not going to be ruthless, but he's going to probably be stronger than all his family because he's already able to rival them now with his own physical. Now with the upgrade of his late genes kicking in, the regenerative and super, he's going to be way stronger than all of them. So but he's confused about it because he's worried about, because also too, he's afraid of how he is with women, how he's protective over them. We saw his brothers didn't care at all. They'll be down to like hurt a girl or whatever. Sanji's also, I could see him scared to lose that. Like how he would treat Nami, how he would treat Robin.
Yeah. There's even another level there where literally his mom sacrificed her life so that he could maintain his emotions and that humanity. So like him having conflict, I expected that. I didn't expect him to run away. That was one thing I didn't expect. But if he just stood there and accepted these powers and just used them to beat Queen without any inner conflict, that would be out of character for Sanji. You know what I mean? So I expected this inner conflict to happen. I don't know how much longer Oda's gonna use like Sanji to do this, like how much time he's gonna dedicate to this kind of inner conflict that he's gonna have to overcome and how he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I did expect this. You know what I mean? Like I 100% expected him to have this conflict. And it's been built up since Whole Cake. Like I expect that. Like it makes sense that he would. I didn't expect him to run away. I guess it's with Queen. Like he knows Queen's gonna follow after him. Like he's not the type to leave and abandon people and Chopper's there and he's just, now I gotta beat Queen instead. Like that's not how Sanji gets down. But yeah, I mean, if he didn't do this, it would be weird by Oda to not have him have this moment. Like this, I don't want to do that moment.
Yeah.
And I agree with him not knowing how he would be in the future and how he would react to Nami and stuff. I didn't even think of it to that level, but that's real. Like he could be thinking of that.
Yeah.
So
What were you gonna say, Lawrence?
No, so like pretty much like because even what he said, and he was running away, but it's more like he says he needs time to like so you need to mentally prepare for something.
Yeah.
Pretty much Sanji is saying that he just needs time to mentally prepare for what's going to happen, like to deal with the situation or maybe somehow control it.
Yeah.
Because he's thinking maybe he might lose control of his humility. So he's saying pretty much, so it's like his running away was like, no, I need time to process what's going on with me.
Yeah.
With my body and what's awakening in me, because a side effect from this is losing that caring for other people. Like, that empathy, I guess you would call it. Yeah.
I was thinking of Eminem, Lose Yourself.
For my take, I see what you guys are saying, and I feel like I'm always going against the grain on things, but the way I see it, it's like we're in war. That's it. Like we're in war. Like you're going through something. We understand you are, but you're top 3 in a Yonko's crew at this point in time. Like you're top 3 of a future Pirate King. Like you're versing the strongest to date person in the show. with his generals by his side who are also pretty damn strong. So for you to have a traumatic mental collapse at this point in time doesn't help at all. It actually is detrimental to everybody, because if Queen just decides to go, I'm just gonna leave Sanji and let him do his thing because obviously he doesn't want to fight, I'll just gang up on Zoro. That falls on you. So what do you do then? Do you come back mentally and just start saying, okay, now I have to take things seriously? That's a question for me. I understand Sanji's a complicated character. It's the way he's written. Like, he's always going to have fans who hate him and have fans who love him. Mm-hmm. And I think this is one of the, for me being a fan of Sanji, this is one of the points where I hate him again. This makes me feel like when he had his nosebleed during Mermaid Island. Like, I understand it's not the same gag, but it's like this moment right now does not need to happen because it does not help. The other thing for me is the future of Sanji and his strength. Will he stop using observation so much? Will he stop using armament so much? Will he be more reliant, like how devil fruit users are reliant on their devil fruit, so they're not as strong in their hockey forms? And I hope to God that's not the reason, or if he starts doing, like, I just hope that doesn't happen, because I like Sanji because he's the opposite of Zoro, but he's like similar. He's a non-devil fruit user who uses hockey at an extreme level, has super speed, has observation that could even rival Katakuri's, and I think overall, man, like, this is not a good look for him right now. I think once he masters whatever he's going through, it would be a great look, but it depends now. Like, how is it going to turn out? And I'm really worried in that aspect, even though I know I shouldn't be, because Oda's never going to let Sanji fall to the wayside. Yeah. He's always going to be in comparison to Zoro in some type of way. So those are the things that worry me. But it's 8 o'clock. I just want to get our ratings real quick, and then we'll end the show. So what's your rating? 1 to 10. Chapter 1029.
I'm going to rate this an 8.
8? How about you, Sub?
The chapter, I'll give it a 7, but the Killer Kid Hawkins dynamic that was happening, 10.
10?
I absolutely love that part.
Yeah. I'll probably give it a hard 6. Hard 6 for me.
Okay.
I had some issues. You know, I had issues with Sanji, of course. I had issues with thinking that Big Mom is going to lose the kid in Law. And I had issues regarding Hawkins' character, like being out of character in a way. So those are only 3 things, but I feel like the chapter itself was all right. But anyway, thank you to everybody that has been arguing in the live chat. You guys are amazing. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell us all your thoughts, and we'll see you back on episode 21. Jana.